We're discussing the good and bad in products from the 5 phases of design processes. I'm gonna be explaining the good and the bad between the messages between these products, and this is through formulate phase. So I chose these 2 products because first, this one represents what the message is, and then what it is, it's for use for wings. So this one really doesn't show that message, it just shows red hot wings. So since the imagery is there and explains what it's used for, this is the good and this is considered the bad. So the next phase is organization, and we're going to be showing the spacing. So compared to these 2, this one doesn't really give that much spacing because of all the imagery in the back, and then like this in the middle, and then the big old representation of that. While this one does, there's a lot of space in between the lettering, and it does show like what it's kind of representing, which is blueberry muffin, kind of the blueberries mentioned here, blueberry. But yes, this would be the bad and this would be the good due to the spacing. So our next phase is contrast. So in this one, we're really talking about the good and the bad between these 2 products. So I chose to do color scheme. So based off of this color, this one has more like just these 2 type of colors and more like basically 3, while this one shows more like vibrant and it kind of pops out more. So I would say this would be the bad and this would be the good, just because it represents like it being a nice product, and there is more color to it. Phase is unify, so I decided to do repetition. So the Fruity Pebbles show the color scheme right here, and it follows the cereal colors. Oh, this one really doesn't. It's just a little dinosaur eating a tree, and it doesn't really represent what the product is. So this one shows more representation and this one doesn't. So this is the good and this is the bad. So the good and the bad between these 2 products is the next phase, which is simplify. And I'm going to be talking about elimination between these 2 products and which one's good and which one's bad. So in the first product, it shows the clarity of the product, while the other one really doesn't. It shows too much that's going on, and it's just so much information just clustered everywhere, and I feel like it just needs to be more or less simple. And so like this kind of shows the message more better, while this one's just like, oh yeah, Mexican refried beans, and it has like all this information which is like too much to read. People just want to know, they just want beans, so they would rather just choose like, oh, this is a refried beans compared to this one, because this one's just going on like you would have to look for what it said refried beans, since all the information is kind of distracting. And yeah, so in general, so in elimination, this would be the bad and this would be the good. And yeah, the clips I explained the 5 phases: formulate, organize, contrast, unify, and simplify. For the message for formulate, I explained the wing sauce. For organized alignment, I explained the muffins. For contrast color, I explained the taco boxes. For the unified repetition, I explained the cereal. And lastly, the simplify elimination, I explained the beans.